establishment press trying to downplay the latest filings from the Durham investigation. It spurred allegations that Hillary Clinton's campaign spied on the Trump campaign in an effort to push the narrative that Trump was colluding with Russia during the 2016 election, and then also while he was sitting president. But Republicans say these findings indicate there could be more revelations to come. Let's get to our congressional correspondent, Kilmeny Ducart, who joins us live now from Capitol Hill. Hey, Kilmeny.
John and Bianca, great to be with you. At the center of all of this has been an attorney whose firm represented the Clinton campaign, Michael Sussman. Michael Sussman used information from this tech firm to try to draw a link that there were back-channel communications happening between a Trump server and also a Russian bank. Sussman was indicted last year for lying to a federal agent when he said he was not presenting this information on behalf of a client and misleading the FBI about the political nature of his work. Attorneys for Sussman had initially tried to strike a section of this memo from the record where Durham had detailed a conflict of interest, saying that this could potentially taint a jury. But now we have more developments, John and Bianca, because it appears that Sussman has now filed a motion to have the case dismissed altogether, citing extraordinary prosecutorial overreach. Congressman Mike Turner, who is a top Republican on the White House or on the House Intelligence Committee, he's suggesting that this memo may allude to the fact that there is more information here and that he is not being well served by his lawyers, and it might be in his best interest to cooperate. But Republicans in recent days have also zeroed in on the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who worked for the Clinton campaign at the time. They've accused him of perpetuating this narrative based on public reporting, not on intelligence. He had said at the time, quote, "This secret hotline may be the key to unlocking the mystery of Trump's ties to Russia." We've been getting a lot of reaction. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn has been accusing Sullivan of perpetuating this false narrative. And of course, as this Durham probe really ramps up, a lot of people and a lot of Republicans are saying that Clinton campaign staffers, especially those who work in the current administration, have no place in government. Earlier this week, we spoke about the fact that the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has vowing to launch a congressional investigation if, in fact, Republicans retain a majority in November.
All right, Kilmeny Ducart for us live on Capitol Hill. Thanks, Kilmeny. Let's welcome in now Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn to talk more about this. Senator Blackburn, always great to talk with you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. So what about Jake Sullivan here? You know, your accusation is that he was perpetuating this Russian collusion narrative, but we need to know what he knew at the time, right?
Indeed, we do need to know what he knew. We need to know who he was working with. And he's the one that broke the news with his tweet about this. So until we get to the bottom of this, until it's clarified, and of course, Sussman is under indictment for lying to the FBI. This is a case that is going to go to trial. So Jake Sullivan should step aside until we know what his participation was in this, how they went about getting the information, getting the dossier, then how they went about establishing the relationship with the computer company that's now been named, and the tech scientist one who has now been named. We need to know what those relationships are. And you know, John, basically we're figuring out who the players were and what they're alleged to have done. So everyone should be stepping aside from government service until this issue is satisfied.
And Jake Sullivan, our national security advisor, no small role, a lot of responsibility there, so that would be a major move. We're going to hear from Hillary Clinton here in a little bit. I don't know if she's going to directly address this, but she did tweet out recently that Trump and Fox are desperately spinning up a fake scandal to distract from his real ones. So it's a day that ends in Y. The more his misdeeds are exposed, the more they lie. A bit of projection, I think, coming from Ms. Clinton there.
Hillary Hillary Clinton has made a career of triangulation. That is what she and Bill Clinton did while they were in the White House. They have always said everything was somebody else's fault. They feel like there are two tiers of justice, one for them and the elites, a different one for everybody else. And actually, I think this is probably zeroing in on what her participation was. She had James Comey, who kind of covered her tracks when she was running for office and after she lost the campaign. But John, I've got to tell you, when you look at this, the Durham report, the prosecutions and the indictments that he has already had, what you do realize is that this, for some of these people, they're going to have to finally answer these questions of who knew what when, who was in on deciding who would be hired to carry out this, who wrote the checks for this, and then was Sussman, Mark Elias, Jake Sullivan, were they the ones responsible for getting this information to the FBI, to the CIA, and to the press, who continued to spin this narrative for them for a 4-year period of time.
Yeah, that's how we talked about how this kind of works in Washington. If you're someone like Hillary Clinton, you can get a meeting with the FBI, say you want to raise this because you're concerned about it, then you leak the information to the press calls the FBI and asks, are you really investigating this? And they say we can't confirm or deny it, and then you have this kind of fake story that gets spun up, and so you see what Hillary Clinton is up there.
The other thing on this, the Trump campaign was run out of Trump Tower.
Right.
So they were infiltrating and controlling the information from the servers at Trump Tower, from his apartment, and then from the White House.
Right.
So think about the numbers of people working on that campaign, people like me. I vice chaired the transition, and the amount of information they would have had access to is who was coming to interview for different positions.
Again, like we talked about, we got to get to the bottom of this and find out more about it. And we also see the press running cover for the Clintons. This is the headline from the New York Times here. Court filing started a furor in right-wing outlets, but their narrative is off track. You don't sound like your narrative's off track at all.
I don't think it is at all. And of course, the New York Times is going to try to cover them because they hate Donald Trump. And you look at Hillary Clinton talking about Vanity Fair, holding up Vanity Fair as the people who have done the best job of reporting on the Trump Russia collusion hoax, as it is. And I guess that's how she lost her campaign, depending on Vanity Fair for political advice. Yeah,
she should have been paying attention to what the voters of Wisconsin were concerned about in 2016 if she actually wanted to win. Senator Marsha Blackburn, always great to speak with you. We appreciate your time.
Good to see you. Thank you.